This week I'm going to reflect on going back to my placement A school, Hertford High, and teaching the Year 10 BTEC class. This Year 10 BTEC class I have reflected on a couple of times before. They have been a challenging class with behavioural and emotional issues. They've found it difficult to focus, and I've tried various different strategies with them with varying degrees of success. So my initial thoughts. So from my placement B school, I've seen how consistency has had positive results, and where children know the boundaries and they also know the consequences if they overstep them. And I think I've seen this in Bridgewater High School being used very, very effectively, and it's also adhering to the consequences and not letting them have extra chances. The consistency is the key. I've seen such inspirational teaching at Bridgewater, and I wanted to emulate that. I knew it would be difficult because the children at Hertford are very different to the children at Bridgewater, so I wanted to be realistic in my thoughts of transferring my teaching skills from Bridgewater High School to Hertford High School. However, the Ofsted criteria wants us to take risks as teachers with pupils. It wants us to challenge pupils' expectations, and also I'm going to just quote from the 4 key areas of inspection that are changing or that have just changed in the Ofsted criteria. So they will be judged on a smaller number of core aspects than before, and the 4 key areas are achievement of pupils in the school, quality of teaching in the school, quality of leadership and management, and behaviour of safety of pupils at the school. And I thought that by addressing this class I would be hitting, I think, 3 areas, the first, second and the fourth areas of those Ofsted inspection areas. Okay, so what did my tutor think? He wanted to team teach because of the poor behaviour, and he thought we should do it together. I insisted on solo teaching because I wanted to, because of what I've just explained about the consistency in the approach to the class, and then I just wanted the focus of the teacher to be on myself rather than the 2 of us. Team teaching is fantastic and it works very, very effectively. However, this class has a tendency to play one of us off against the other, so that's why I insisted on being the main teacher and delivering the lessons myself. So what did I do? I spoke to the class on the first day back. I set out clear objectives, no mucking around, no talking, 1 person speaks at a time, 3 chances, and then I would withdraw them from the group. I actually read the BTEC unit options in great detail, and I picked out a couple that could be completed individually, such as makeup or costume or set design. I then ran a series of highly structured workshops. This class have an inability to focus and to devise work themselves, and I wanted to start off with them leading them through the process and having them perform at the end of the lesson on small devised pieces. Did it work? Yes, eventually. It took about 2 to 3 lessons for pupils to comprehend the new structure to the lesson. I feel that my consistency in my approach to the talking, the chewing, the lack of focus gave good results. pupils moaned, they hated me, they wanted the other teacher back, even from some pupils that I'd got on with previously, but I had the same consistent approach with everybody, so I wasn't letting one person chew and another person not chew, one person talk and another person not talk. Everybody had the same set of rules. I gave 3 warnings, and then asked them to stand outside the room or go to the green room, and again I was consistent in my approach, despite the beggings of, oh, I'll be good, oh, give me one last chance. One particularly challenging pupil, I set up a meeting because I could see she was going to fail. I set up a meeting with a pastoral manager. I set out an agreed behaviour contract with her, which the pastoral manager typed up and we both signed. Unfortunately, she did break this contract, and I gave her 3 chances, and then I sent her to another location to complete work on a mandatory unit that she's unable to pass the course without completing. I think that's had a positive effect on her, hopefully, next year into year 11, because I think that consistent approach and that following through of consequences will have a positive effect on her, and also the rest of the group. They know where the boundaries are, and they know that I will deliver the consequences if they don't adhere to the rules that we have all agreed on. Their work has been astounding, absolutely amazing work, which has proved that with focus, with some hard work, with some good collaborative group work, and using the drama skills that they have and that they have learnt, they have produced some brilliant theatre, which I have been very, very proud of. I've videoed some of the work and we showed it back to the pupils so that they can see what they're capable of. I do realise that there are self-esteem issues, you know, they're better than they think they are. However, it has been the focus on the commitment, the passion for the subject, and that has really moved them on into producing this good work. What would I do differently next time? I would make them all sign a behaviour contract at the beginning, and not just the one problem pupil. If I was to teach this class again, I would continue with the structured workshops with an emphasis on performing at the end of the lesson in order to show progression of their work. Overall, really, really happy with the way that it's going in the class. We've hit a bit of a rocky road, but now the pupils know where I'm coming from. They know the boundaries, they know the consequences, and they know that they will have to go through the consequences if they don't adhere to the behaviour policy that I have set up in my classroom. So I am saying to them, I don't care about anybody anywhere else in the school, but in my lesson, these are the rules that you adhere to, and if you don't, this will happen. And they know that. They know that now. There's less arguing, there's less talking. We're on to actually devising a piece themselves now, again a little bit slow to start with because they're just not used to that kind of drama. However, they are getting there. We're due to perform fairly shortly, and I'm convinced that hopefully I think they will all achieve a pass, with some achieving a merit. And if you compare that to the last unit of work where I said about a quarter of the class didn't pass at all, I think that has shown an impact of my teaching on their progression and their attainment.